We are Timbuktu.
If it's art, it's us.
Hey,
we're Meet the Creators, a web show that is dedicated to all forms of art.
I'm Lady Ice, aka Lisa Brown, original no name. Originally from Worcester, Mass, but currently out here in Boston. I am currently 27. I originally dance and choreograph, mainly in hip hop styles and dance hall as well. Dipping my hands now into fashion or wearable art, as that's like the top-notch thing that's going on right now. And then on the side, I tattoo here and there as well too. Anything mostly like creative. I'm just honestly just dipping my hands into that, but mostly just dancing and doing fashion as well too. So we originally started, at least as a collective, I'd say around January is when we started putting like everything mostly together. It's founded by me, myself, Kenyatta, and Anon. And we're basically just like a bunch of like multi-talented artists, I'd say. Basically just trying to put a collective together and I don't know, push more of a positive artistic agenda and creating like a difference, I guess, in the world. Moving from like the basic like starving artist to like actually just being just an artist and then making the exact profits that you need from that as well too. Space Gallery is basically just an open space, open studios. There's not really a lot of black safe spaces for artists to work in Boston, where it's just open and they're able to like just work on their art and actually get like the details and benefits without like having like a price or a profit or something attached to it. Here you're just able to like create and then work off the intellects around as well too. Yeah, just like a creative space, open space, black owned as that as well. I was put on by another guy who was part of the collective as well too. He's currently not a part of us. I met him through a local event that was headed by Radical Black Girl, and then he kind of told me just to come through for like this different collective. From there we kind of like moved on and I met Kenyatta and Anon through this guy as well too, and then that's where we kind of like formed that bond and kind of like formed this collective as Timbuktu to like where it is now and then where it's going. I'm actually wearing one of my favorite pieces. It's a MJ collab, basically MJ on MJ, Michael Jordan on Michael Jackson, basically this jumpsuit. I'm definitely a huge fan of just jumpers and just one pieces, so I'm trying to make my whole closet basically just one pieces. But I have a few pieces that are my favorite right behind me. Original, that's one. This Prince leather jacket is one of the first one I actually worked on, and that was honestly, I'd say that was one of like the starter pieces that actually got me like more inspired into creating more of these jackets, and then understanding more of like the material and then wearing like my own fashion and like the protective wear of like your own fashion, your own creativeness. Growing up, it's like you didn't really have a lot of money to get like all the expensive stuff, so like you see your friends rocking all that stuff, so it's like me, I just took the initiative to like just make it myself, and then honestly just pushing my own agenda as far as like being like I don't know, an individual. So like each jacket, they hold like a different essence to it, so it's like a different persona that it brings out of me as well too. My next favorite would be like this Michael one, mostly because the eyes and then like just the story around it, and then this queen piece as well too. So like anything drawn with like more of like the portraits, making them stick out heavily in hip-hop with that like artistic flavor, and it's basically just tying in my dance and artistic, I guess, creativity together. So some pieces of advice that I'd have for some artists is just honestly, if you feel like doing anything, just do it. Like I say, like pushing the agenda of like we're all individuals and we all create what God has given us, so like nothing is going to be like the next, or nothing is going to be like the other person or what like you've previously seen. So just do it, and then do it how you do it. Don't necessarily aim for like a certain vision, because like how I like to work is like I aim for like a certain idea, but it's like it's never the idea that it comes out to be. It's always something honestly in my case something better than what I actually envisioned, because I'm actually in the moment of doing it. So like if you're going to do anything, pursuing anything creatively out in this world, just do it at this point, because no one that's gonna hold you back to do it, and then there's no one else like you as well too to do exactly what you do.
My name is Kenyatta. I go by Mafalme. My brand is called Mafalme. Right now, I live in Boston. I'm from New Jersey. In terms of creations, like I do a little bit of everything. I've done murals. I've done like other forms of public artwork, photography. I'm into like cameras and playing with, images, fashion design. I make sculptures, like found object sculptures, like this kind of stuff. And mostly abstract, like everything I do is abstract. I make music. So with the space, like our goal here is just like to cultivate like a place where artists, specifically black artists, because right now in Boston, like those spaces are disappearing. In this neighborhood too, it's like there's nothing like this in this neighborhood, So kind of like for me, how I see the space, like my goal is like to create a space where there's contemporary art, modern art, but it's all coming from, artists who are from the community or artists who are black artists. They don't necessarily even have to be from Boston per se, but our preference is like people that are from the area because there's a lot of talent around here, but it's not really many places for people to express that. During the day, like from time to time, you can look at it like studio space, but we also like host events, like if someone wants to have an art show or, expanding it just beyond art too. It's like a space for people in the community as well. Are you familiar with Timbuktu? It was a place in Mali in West Africa where it was basically, considered the first university. And then people from all around the world started hearing about it and they would go there to learn things, to, just expand on whatever their interest was. So here, it's like that's kind of like the same concept. Whatever you do or whatever you're interested in, it's like our purpose is to try to help you get better at that and, connect you to resources that can help you with what you're trying to do. So that's really like the concept where the name comes from. In terms of the artists that are here, myself, Ice, and Anon, is really to like inspire like more like beyond art, like entrepreneurship. Because if you're an artist, whatever you do, like you're a videographer, photographer, like that's something that you could use to like make a living for yourself. So I met Anon, he was passing by and he came inside, we started talking. And then I met Ice started coming to the museum. It just kind of like grew from there. I just feel like it was just meant to be. Like I feel like that was just something that was like put together by the universe. I'll have to start here. This one is called Gift from the Nomos. So basically, you see on the left side, it has like a mask, a tribal mask from the Dogon tribe. So the Dogon, they're known for like knowing about like space, like having this vast knowledge of like solar systems, like knowing about stuff that can't be seen with a telescope. So this painting, Gift from the Nomos, is basically about the Dogon saying that a group of aliens called the Nomos brought weed to Earth. The aliens brought the weed and then they're like having a session right there. And then you see on the right side where there's like a little alien face, there's binary code. And the binary code is from from a crop circle. This is actual binary code from like outer space, and it explains like their solar system, how many galaxies, like their biological makeup. And so that's definitely one of my favorite pieces because it has like actual like meaning to it in terms of like, it's not just like, oh, it's about weed, it's like, this is a story. This one right here is called Musical Chair, and it's just kind of like the concept behind it. And also like this is one of my favorite pieces because like how it came together. So originally it was just this piece like with the speaker and the frame. That was how it started. And then I just felt like it wasn't finished. So maybe like a month later someone gave me the guitar, and I was looking at it and I was like, all right, this isn't finished yet. So I just kept thinking about it. So one day I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this today. I had the guitar, I take the guitar with me, and I go to the studio, and I was just staring at this piece, and I'm looking around, like, what am I gonna do? So I looked, and when I turned, I saw the chair, and then it just like clicked. It's like musical chair, and I just started making it. So it's one thing to have like a blank canvas, or like, take a shirt or whatever and design it, but it already is what it is. So it's like, it challenges me to be creative. Like, what am I going to do with it? Like, it already exists, So it's just like repurposing, giving things a new life that most people might be like, all right, this doesn't work, I'm going to throw it away. I wanted to talk about this one right here. This one that says Kanye is right. This one is like, I just speak about like certain things, like what government actually means. Like, government means mind control. I talk about the Buck Act of 1940, which basically says that you have a social security number, or if you live in any of the 50 states, you're classified as property of the government. And then there's another piece over here, it's called Mr. 11's holographic manifestation. manifestation. So it is basically like, it's like an alien like manifesting into the third dimension. It also has to do with like numerology. It has 11 eyes, and then you know, the number 11 has to do with prosperity and abundance and like, you know, good fortune. So this one is called Mafalme. This is a recreation of the King playing cards. I don't know, I was just like, I think I was playing cards with somebody and I like saw the King card and I just started looking at it and I was like, we're not seen in that light, you know what I mean? In reality, all of that stuff that they were doing, it came from us originally. So like I said, this is Timbuktu in the background. And a lot of people think this is Mansa Musa, but it's just, you know, a king. But with this right here, the middle part, that's gold and silver. It's something that they actually really used to wear. Like kings would like pull it over their head, and it was like body art. So it's like, body jewelry. And this one overhead is called America's Perception of the Black Man. As a black male, like just my experiences, like being out in public, you know, being on a train or something like that, and I turn my head and somebody's staring at me, frowning at me like I did something to them and they don't even know me. So it's like, for you to, you know, act like that towards me and you never even had a conversation with me, it's like, there must be like some stereotype or some perception of me that you already have, that where you feel like threatened or, you know, uncomfortable. But so I just wanted to make that because it was just like, and I actually made that when that happened to me. This guy was just like, I turned my head and he was just like staring at me, frowning at me. And I think the next day I started working on that because it's like, what do you see? Like, you must see like some, like, when you look at me, like, you must see like some monster. The last one I'll speak about is the one down to the left called Make America Think Again. So that one is just really about like a lot of times like in society, there's a lot of I guess like ways of doing things that are like other people's ideas. Like a lot of stuff has been like around for so long that people don't even know where it came from, how it started, but they still follow it. So that's why like when they have like dogma, like things like idols crossed out, it says like the norm is not normal, think original thoughts. And at the bottom it says the collective consciousness is in the sunken place, rise above it. Talk to people and they're like, oh, that's just how it is. This is how things have been done. This is how it's always been. So it's like, it doesn't have to be like that. Like you just choosing to go along with that. So that one is really about just being yourself and having a free mind. Like, make America think again. Some pieces of advice that I have for upcoming artists are to believe in yourself. You know, like whatever you set out to do, like just, you know, have confidence that I'm going to be able to be successful at this. Like that's the main thing, you know, to be creative, you know, like look around and see what's not being done opposed to what's already being done. Because like if you're just following trends or just like going along with things, it's like you'll get lost. Like you'll just get lost and you'll just be another person doing what everybody else is doing. So I would say be original, be creative, and be fearless.
Y'all can call me Anon. That's what I normally go as creatively, is Anon, which stands for, it's two different definitions for it. It's actually ain't no other. And then there's another nation on. I always felt like, for me, like when I was building or creating, it was never really necessarily about me. It was always about the people and us just like doing stuff towards that. My age, I sometimes play with people and be like, yo, guess my age. The reason why I do that is because I know I don't look my age. I have a daughter that's 20. People was like, what? So yeah. I had it when I was young, so I'm around like 35. From Dorchester, I live right here. From here, I was born in the Bury though, Roxbury, if y'all are not familiar. Everything that I got in terms of like creativity-wise was all from Dorchester. So music and fashion has always been a passion of mine. So it's like to really try to box me in or give me a title. There's really no title. A lot of times people call me a creative director, because anytime I'm at an event, I'm the one overseeing like what everybody's doing. Not saying I'm a boss to you what you're doing, but I'm literally allowing everything to to like flow more smoothly. So like my title is crazy to try to give me one, but a lot of the times people throw me in as like a creative director mostly. The space is known as like Timbuktu. We did that because if you remember what Timbuktu was, there's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, which I advise everybody to go back to read. It actually ties into stuff biblically. I don't know if I want to get into that, but like it's just basically doing a lot of stuff in-house. Not only that, it's kind of like mirroring what the Black Wall Street used to be. If y'all ain't familiar with that, that's just like when black people was kind of separated. Not kind of, we were. And everything we had was beautiful. So I'd suggest people to Google Black Wall Street. I don't want to go through a history lesson on that, but we're trying to mirror that. We're trying to bring back the old within the new and modernize it. I always knew Kenyatta first. He has these customized jackets, like killer jackets, and I end up modeling a couple of his stuff, you know, and I end up bumping into Ice, and then she showed me her custom design, and I'm like, yo, y'all should do a closet. Like, we definitely should do some fashion shows. So we like started looking into doing like different fashion shows. How can we get into like Boston Fashion Week? How can we get into like NYC Fashion Week? And then me and Ice started talking, and we was like, yo, we should just come up with a closet. And then it was like, yo, I kind of wanted to have pieces that nobody can get, you know? So it's like almost like if I style you and you come to me, the only way you're gonna get these pieces is if you come back to me, or if you want customized stuff. And it was kind of like Ice, like seeing the talent that I already had, picking it back up, like, bro, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. So we just kind of formed and came together. We kind of Voltron, and we're just allowing each other's talents to build on top of each other's talents and curate new talent. It's kind of what we're doing. So I just like, yo, I'll come up with some shoes to y'all coats. So I started like doing art on shoes, drawing little stuff on shoes. Got a little of them here. I'll show y'all in a second, but yeah, that's kind of what we did. I'll tell y'all the pieces that people like the most, which are these black Johns, which was donated to me, crazy. I ended up just like kind of going crazy. Like I looked at it like I'm tattooing different art on shoes. So like this one was like kind of the first one I started really working with. And then when I looked at the boot or whatever, I started seeing like a tongue on it. It's kind of like lick my boot type thing, you know what I mean? I was just thinking of some stupid print stuff. Originally, I kind of wanted a dead president's face right here. But then when I started doing it, I was like, it's not coming out the way I want it. Like, I'm so detailed, like attention to detail type. So I was like, you know what? This. I'm about to sit up here and put a middle finger right there. And then I was like looking at like some, just like an old anarchy rock band. Like, cause one of the people I was inspiring this by was, she was wearing like a misfit rock and roll type jean jacket. So I was kind of doing a play on that. So I was like, let me just play with that or whatever. So like anytime somebody sees these, they be like, yo, these are kind of like your best ones. And I'm like, these are the first ones I worked on. So it was kind of dope to do these or whatever. I kind of fell in love with these ones just off the color. Cause when I had copped these or whatever, the person I ended up copping them for, she was like, she didn't want them. And I was like, just get them. Cause I'm like, I'll definitely do something to them or whatever. So I sat there and was like, yo, I'm gonna get these colors together, threw some ice blue metallic colors on them, and then just did something different and just gave it like a neon bottom straight through. So like, I can't wait to like just style a female in these and just see her walk in them. So hopefully whoever's watching this, they end up seeing some of our fashion shows, so you can see this in like the early stages to where we really want it. The other ones that I made, I have like 2 other ones I could showcase. Like the other ones I made that have another drawing on it, it's like a quick one, which is like Hello Kitty. It's not done. I'll still show it though. I originally made this because I was gonna do something like a political thing with the whole abortion thing that they got going on in Alabama or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Basically, I was gonna put something up here like my rules or don't touch my. So like I felt like Hello Kitty was like a funny play on that. And then I ended up doing some clothes. Hopefully y'all can see him in the background. I did Hey Arnold, which was Gerald. So I basically ended up doing this one right here. And if y'all remember Hey Arnold, everybody remembers Gerald. He was like the only friend that had a full family and he had vows to him. So me, I just started doing that. And then the other one you can see, which is like my name, which is Anon. Again, I already told y'all the meaning of that. And we're just gonna kind of put a fashion show together with all of our art. But I end up doing these too, like they're not done. I'm gonna end up putting some cheetah print at the back of it. As you can see, I have a whole thing for it. Like I have it on my pocket, you know what I'm saying? So like I wanna put that similar thing like right here at the back of it. So hopefully I get to work on that and hopefully I get to showcase that to y'all too as well. And I also do music, so don't think fashion's the only thing. Probably can see that on Meet the Creators. Don't let no one ever tell you you can't do whatever it is that you wanna do. So meaning anything that you feel in the hearts of your hearts, do it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you only get one life to live, so you should live it to its full max. Your hands are talented. You should show forth your talent. It's something that's God-given, and a lot of times we hide our talents I know I'm a multi-talented person. I don't like to always showcase it, but I think in a way, like, we don't do that because we don't want to show our light. Nah, show your light to whoever it is you want to show your light to. So my word of advice is don't take no as the final answer. Don't allow nobody to tell you you can't do anything. And if anybody hate, use that as fuel. Because hate is the new love, to be honest with you. Because your hate is going to check on you more than somebody that they say that loves you. So use all of that negativity and make it into something positive. And just keep pushing forward. You can look back, but you can never go back. So keep moving forward. And that'll be my word of advice. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do on this earth. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Dance, draw, paint. You can take your talent and cultivate money out of it. You could be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be a worker. You don't have to go to school to work for somebody else. You can work for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And there's ways of doing that. We just have to believe in yourself at the end of the day. We'd like to put a special shout out to Meet the Creators. Thank you for shooting this video. Thank y'all for watching it. You can catch us at 157A Washington Street, Dorchester, Mass. Across the street from the old SKB store. Or if you're not familiar, it's not too far from Franklin Park.
Yo, look.
So you gotta showcase her.
I'm dead.
Ooh, can I start that? I'm gonna start that over.
Okay.
Ooh.
Breathe real quick, breathe. Yep, take a moment.
He's really not that tall.
So,
You're doing good though.
I need a fan.
Hey.
You're a creator, create. And don't let nobody tell you you can't. So,
Period.
period. Like,
thank you for tuning in.
Hey.
you're gonna say,